What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the final episode of $1 Million Builds. I'm sitting here doing a relaxed version. I'm sitting on one of the couches here that we staged the house with, but we've gotten to completion. As you can see behind me, we've got the house fully staged. We just got our occupancy cert yesterday, and the big announcement that I've actually been holding on our audio podcast is that we sold the house, and we actually sold it before it ever hit the market, which for a house like this is a pretty amazing feat. I don't know of another spec builder in this whole city that spec'd a house that was well over $3 million and sold it this year. So we're in very thin airspace, and there's not a whole lot of company up here, but it's a great place to be. So I wanted to come back and just kind of talk to you guys one last time about this project and also really show off the project. I'm not gonna walk around and point things out because we've got some amazing pictures. We actually had this place photographed a number of different times, and so Dan's gonna overlay a lot of those pictures as we kind of go through this journey here so that you guys can see what it is that we did and what the finished product looks like. You know, we had one photographer come in for us to just shoot like very design-like pictures. We had another photographer come in to shoot kind of more RMLS listing type pictures, just so it's well documented. And then we had a third photographer come in, which is really cool, for Oregon Home Magazine. So that's a big magazine here locally. It shows off a lot of really nice design work and local homes here in Oregon. And so they came in on Tuesday. If any of you guys follow me on social media, you probably saw that I posted some of the behind the scenes on that. But they came in and they shot a bunch of these rooms. We can overlay a shot of the office here. I think that's what they're going to use to put on the cover of their next issue. So they do like 4 or 5 issues a year. And so their winter issue, which goes from November, December, January, February, we're gonna have our house on the cover of that. So for any of you guys that are local and you go to your checkout stand and you see Oregon Home Magazine on the little rack there, well, that's our house. So we'll see which picture they choose, but a lot of amazing stuff. This has been a super long project from the time that we bought it about 3.5 years ago. I didn't intend on it being that long of a project. I didn't intend to hold it this long, but we went through a few challenges. The first is, you know, at what point were we going to build this in our lineup of projects? Because this is a huge capital expense. It takes a ton of money. As you can imagine, you know, we sold it for well over $3 million. It just takes a lot of not only, you know, personal capital, but financial capital as well. So we only have so much bandwidth that we can give to a project. So we had to figure out, okay, where in our lineup of projects can we fit this in, both time-wise and money-wise? Well, we found that, and then we started the process. A lot of challenges. We had neighbor issues, of course. We had from all the trees and the redevelopment. A lot of neighbors are very sensitive about redevelopment happening around their house. The lady next door was had me on you know, the top of her America's Most Wanted list for a variety of reasons. I got emails, I got phone calls, I got all kinds of things. If the guys were working at 5:01 and work hours are from 7 to 5, right? She was blowing up my phone. So lots of challenges like that. We had the contractor issues in the back. Fortunately, the guy that bought that house up there, really nice guy. Little side note, he happens to be Macklemore's manager, so pretty cool. But really nice guy other than that. But before that, we had to deal with another company that bought it at auction and was renovating it, and we dealt with that contractor who was kind of a dingbat, to say it nicely. And we had the water line issue that you guys remember. They gave us a bill for like $10,000 because they said that it delayed their construction, which was complete and utter BS. We had our wall, right? That big wall that's back there that we could show some footage of. You know, that was a huge challenge for us because the excavator started digging out too soon. They got a little over the handlebars, and when they did that, we basically had this huge cut that now we had to deal with. And originally we were gonna do one wall in the back, and we ended up having to do 2 because if you do a wall that's taller than 4 feet, you have to get engineering, and then that engineering has to go to the city, and that creates like a 2 to 3 month delay. So we didn't want that, so we ended up having to stagger it and build 2 walls, but to do that we actually had to bring rock and dirt back in order to raise one of the walls up. So it's a big mess. You guys remember out in the garage there, we had to actually fill the garage with gravel. You remember the shot of me putting my arms up and it was like, you know, 10 feet up to the top. That was a big, you know, issue that we didn't expect in terms of grade challenges and things like that. But in the end, it all turned out really good. And then, of course, as we kind of come to the finish line here, you know, we've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We've got, you know, multiple millions of dollars tied up into this project, and we want to get it unloaded, right? And as we kind of started to get closer to completion, we partnered with the #1 agent in all of Oregon for the, 10 of the last 11 years, who focuses their business mainly on Lake Oswego and Dunthorpe. And so I met with him, and my decision was, and normally we list stuff internally, but for this house, we're in very thin airspace in terms of who buys it. It's a small circle of people that can afford to pay, $3.5 million, especially in Portland. In other big metros, that's not a lot of money, but here, that's a lot of money. And so what I wanted to do was take our brand, which as it stands alone, is a fantastic brand. But I wanted to marry that brand with what is recognized as the #1 real estate brokerage brand in the state of Oregon, and more specifically within Dunthorpe and Lake Oswego. And we did that, and it worked out really well. We were able to carry for a very high price, and as I mentioned, we sold before we even went on the market. So I came up with that idea, and it did cost us a little more to sell it that way, but at the end of the day, it was a seamless transition. We sold the house, like I said, today. After we get done shooting here, I get to go check my email, and it's supposed to record, and funds should transfer, but I signed all the paperwork yesterday. So he did a great job, and he obviously had a great product to sell as well. And most importantly, we sold it to some really, really nice people. When we sell these houses, sometimes we don't get to choose who buys it. And we have a builder warranty that we have to issue for a year. And so we're basically married to these people, making sure that there's no major issues in the house over the course of that year. So if we sell to somebody who's a little bit challenging, we'll say, it makes my life very difficult. So I'm happy to say that the people who bought this house, extremely nice people. They love the house, and I couldn't be happier that they're the ones that bought it. So anyway, we've gotten to the finish line here. You never know how these homes are going to turn out when you start building them. We know they're going to turn out good. But to what degree of good or great, you just never know till you get there, right? And once we got to the finish line with this one not only turned out good, it turned out amazing. This is by far and away the nicest house that we've ever built, and we'll continue to overlay a bunch of the pictures here and footage that Dan has to just kind of really show off this product. But that pretty much wraps up what is a long series of documenting the build of this home, and we've got another one coming up. It's a Lakeview house. We'll probably do the same type of series on that when we build it. But I'm really happy with the way this place turned out. I'm really happy that we got some amazing buyers, and I'm really happy that we carried a price that was well over $3 million. So check out all the pictures, enjoy the footage, and thanks for watching this series.